to school haul. I know that this is like around 10K. I'm not 100% sure, but
here's my mini back to school haul.
Today I'm restocking my 4-year-old's bathroom.
Shein haul time. The grand finale of my giant Shein haul is finally here.
Here is my 2025-2026 back to school haul.
You know what time it is. Get all new plastic in time for the back to school season. All new plastic for an all new school year and an all new you based on the aesthetic of the year that we're selling you. Keep on buying new water bottles in the new colorway of the month. If you want to be cool at school, you need to keep up. What are the cool girls being for Halloween this year? All new overpriced plastic Halloween costumes away and all new plastic Halloween decor. All that outdated plastic from last year, just throw it all away. The theme used to be black and orange and then it was muted boring beige. But now get ready. It's time for the trending midnight and copper color combo viral social media trending plastic to replace. Black Friday is coming up, so get out your plastic and get all new Christmas decoration plastic. Yeah, don't be a Grinch by reusing all your plastic from last year. Gift your outdated cheap plastic from last year to the landfill and get all new plastic for this year. Happy Earth Day. Buy these fast fashion mass produced Happy Earth Day saying tees from Amazon to celebrate. You need more plastic. You need, I'll keep you spending and distracted from all the world's hopeless destruction. Fill that hole in your soul with all new plastic and buy this projection of your future self in which life looks better with whatever I'm selling. Buy for the temporary high. Repeat, replay. Your money and your time is mine. Bye.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Silver Fox and here on this channel I talk about classic literature, films, pop culture, and whatever I feel like talking about. And today I feel like talking about overconsumption and capitalism. I want to dive into how overconsumption is plaguing our society, why it's bad, and what counts as overconsumption. But before I get into that, thank you so much for being here. You may notice my setup is a little bit different if you've been here previously. I'm still working on it. The books are not all in the right place. And there's something new here. A desk. My first desk. I am so excited to have a desk. Now I have my coffee right here. And also just being able to put like my tablet and the things I'm using for the videos right here instead of on the floor. Golly gee. I know this isn't a big deal to a lot of people, but I really wanted a desk and now I have a desk and that's awesome. Also, I'm wearing a hat today. I put a new product in my hair, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So it's a hat day. It's a hat day. I have a new chair. I'm no longer stealing my mom's dining room table chair. I have my own little stool I'm sitting on, so there's no back, and also can't lean back. So sorry if my posture suffers. I wanted to apologize for the lighting, but I've been told I need to stop apologizing so much. So I'm actually not sorry for the lighting. It's cloudy. What do I control the weather? It's cloudy. The lighting might not be great. It is what it is. And I want to say, please remember to like and subscribe, share, copy, link, and comment below if you like this video and you want to see more from me. It does really help. I will also be linking my Ko-Fi below because life is expensive and I am working towards moving out. And so if you want to help me with that, and help me move out and improve the quality of my life and all of those things, Ko-Fi will be linked below. Sorry for the self-promo. Now to the video. One of the newest consumerism trends to hit the market is the Labubu. And forgive me if I'm a month late to approaching this topic. Trends do move at a really rapid pace, which is part of what we're going to be talking about today. You may have heard about them before. They've been around for a while. They first launched in 2015. And over the past decade, you might have seen them in people's collections here and there and not really thought much about it. I know I have. But in the past few months, it has become a growing trend, blowing up especially on TikTok. It went from the weird little plush you keep on your bag to the Labubu. You have a Labubu, you have multiple Labubus, and that word baffles me. But since it blew up, people have not stopped talking about their collections. Of course, I'm sure that'll only last a month or two until the next trend hits the market. But the other day, I was at a grocery store with my nephew, and a woman passed us by, and he went, "She has a Labubu on her bag." And I was like, oh my gosh, how do you know what that is? Where did you hear about that? Like, how do you know what a Labubu is? Please tell me. And I honestly think he thought he was in trouble. Like, I think he might have thought he said a bad word or something, because I was like, how do you know that? Where did you hear about that? But I was just like, okay, how did my nephew, of all people, find out what this is? Where did he hear about it? Like, how has even my 8-year-old nephew become aware of the Labubu? I was just so curious how he'd even gotten a whiff of this trend, because just like, how the heck does he know? He doesn't even go to public school. It's not like the other students are telling him, "Got my Labubu today." He's not on TikTok. Like, he's not on TikTok or any of that stuff. How does he know what a Labubu is? Anyway, my point is, they are everywhere. I will be doing a lot of voiceovers today. I hope you don't mind. This particular video, there's really no other sound except the clanking of her massive amount of keychains, but a lot of these videos have copyrighted sounds or music, so I will be talking over them instead. But I will also be showing a lot of TikToks today, because TikTok is sort of the most obvious example of the amount of overconsumption that we are going to be delving into today. So bear with me through a lot of TikToks. And while on the surface, people collectively doing something communal, like getting a Labubu and posting about it online, may seem harmless, what is it that drives people to do this?
Genuine question for those of you who bought Labubus. Did you buy them because they're actually cute, or did you buy them because of the clout? Because I'm the latter one. I bought it because of the clout. I think they look like monsters. Like, when I first saw them, I was like, why are people raving about it? They're so ugly. This one looks constipated. If you look at my Skull Panda one, like, look at this one. Gorgeous. So pretty. This one too. A masterpiece. Look at all the details. Also, these Warmth series are super cute too. They're so shiny and pretty. The Hirona ones are also super cute. I like them because they tell a story. Like, this one says "don't cross," so it's fun to look at. But like these, the only thing I like about them is that they're fuzzy, so they're like nice to touch. Besides that, they're so ugly. I was at an outlet and I saw the Pop Mart vending machine and I saw the people lining up for it. I never thought of buying a Labubu, but then I got Labubu because I wanted the clout. I'm a clout chaser. Be honest, did you buy them because of the clout, or did you buy them because you actually thought they were cute before people told you that they are cute?
And what about when the trend is over and people who only bought into it for a sense of community get tired of having these little monsters in their house and throw them away? To the landfill it goes, where it will later be joined by whatever item people buy next in order to fit in. This is the problem with consumerism: conformity and waste. Waste of money and waste of resources. The urge to buy something to be cool and trendy comes from a desire to fit in, to be seen and to be liked. No one is jumping on a trend in the name of personal interest and individuality. Sure, there are a handful of people who discover something new through a trend and will still like it once it becomes old news, but the majority of people simply want to be a part of something. And in the digital age where real community is sorely lacking, people find community through internet niches. Gone are the days when you could stumble upon a group that you just really vibed with and stuck with them. Now you find something via hashtags and SEOs, and you have to share the same aesthetic, not just similar personalities. Social media has further ingrained in people to base their perception of others purely off of visuals and nothing more, which can be harmful for a lot of reasons outside of overconsumption. But it also encourages people to be performatively aesthetic, to dress a certain way or own a certain thing, just to catch the eye of people who would otherwise scroll past you. It's not about expressing yourself, it's about expressing the interest of your FYP. That's why so many people dress the same nowadays. Individuality is dying because in order to be accepted, you have to fit into certain niches. You can't just be Samantha. You have to be beige aesthetic Amazon storefront Samantha. You can't just be Claire. You have to be matcha Dubai chocolate Labubu viral Kendall Jenner tank top Claire. If your personality can't be a hashtag or a trending audio, it's not a personality people want. And more than that, if your personality isn't something people can repurchase, it's not something people want. Under capitalism, we are encouraged to both buy and be sold. Your personality has to be something marketable, and if it's not, well, you can just purchase it from someone else then. In a capitalist society, money and status is seen as the main goal. We are taught to grind and grind and grind. So if you find something that you like, but you can't monetize it, what's the point? What's the point in a hobby that exists purely for entertainment and not monetary value? With that, we are also encouraged to buy. Capitalism loves that people are being incentivized more than ever to buy. To buy a bunch of Labubu so you can rock it on your back or go viral on TikTok for owning the one and only 24 karat gold Labubu.
I have the one and only 24 karat gold Labubu.
There's a reason that these things are being pushed to you by your algorithm on every platform. There's a reason why videos that have TikTok shop links are more likely to be pushed to your FYP than anything else. Brands benefit from your desire to be liked. They will prey on any vulnerability you have if it gets them a purchase. This is made most obvious in the beauty industry exploiting women's insecurities since its inception. There's actually a really great video about brands becoming something of a cult that you have to buy into, so I'll link that below. But it goes over a lot of the same points about the desire for community and in your desperation to fit in, doling out cash for a sense of belonging. But what exactly is so bad about it? What if someone wants to buy a Labubu to fit in? What if they've been swayed to try what Dubai chocolate tastes like? If they've been influenced to buy an outfit from someone's Amazon storefront or TikTok shop link? What makes something overconsumption versus a genuine purchase? You might be thinking, well, I see a lot of books on your shelf. Over 700 in case you're curious. And you might be thinking I'm a hypocrite, because I also own a lot of stuff. I'm certainly not a minimalist. And what's the difference between buying into trends and fast fashion versus buying a bunch of books? Well, I'll be going over exactly why I think that's different later in my video. I don't want to get into that tangent just yet, but I will mention it, just in case you're curious what my opinions of it are. But for now, the main thing that makes this so bad, in my opinion, goes to both ends of the story, where these mass-produced products start and where they end up. They usually start in a building somewhere, filled to the brim with individuals being paid far less than minimum wage for hours and hours of work, packed into someplace with poor working conditions and likely no AC, little to no bathroom breaks, and working hours that should be illegal, with so little pay it could be described as slave labor. These people work to the bone to produce an item you will throw out in a few months. And then once you throw it out, it goes to the landfill where it will rest for all eternity because plastic takes up to 1,000 years to decompose. And let's be real, 90% of what's being purchased in these trends is straight up plastic. Even the clothes purchased from brands like Shein often contain plastic, and are also found to contain dangerous amounts of harmful materials like lead. But it would take me so long to dive into just how harmful and toxic the specific materials in these products are, and that's a huge contributing factor, but it is not the point of this video, so I won't dive too much into that right now. But the end result is massive amounts of trash piling up in the world, trash that often cannot be recycled or repurposed because of what it's made of. This is an article from Earth Day. It says, "In pursuit of the latest trends, we often overlook the true cost of fast fashion, a cost paid in sweat, suffering, and the silenced voices of garment workers around the globe. Millions of workers are trapped in a relentless cycle of exploitation, fueling an industry that depends on their labor but ignores their rights. Fast fashion is one of the most labor-intensive industries, with each piece of clothing handmade along a complex supply that stretches across countries in the global south such as Bangladesh, India, China, Vietnam, and Indonesia. These nations and others supply low-cost labor that fast fashion demands. The industry employs approximately 75 million factory workers worldwide, yet less than 2% earn a living wage. Garment workers endure unsafe conditions, wage theft, exhausting hours, minimal pay, and gender-based harassment. The exploitation of garment workers is glaringly evident in Bangladesh, a country heavily reliant on the industry. An Oxfam report reveals that 91% of Bangladesh garment workers struggle to afford enough food for themselves and their families, and 25% face some form of abuse. So it starts with slave labor and ends with landfills. The same cannot necessarily be said of books, but I'll circle back around to that. But first, let me talk about another crazy consumer product that I just learned about like 2 days ago, and that is Alani New. Okay, so some of these audios are copyrighted, so I'm just going to do a voiceover. So right here, she's just, showing off her tons of cans that she's drinking, which isn't inherently bad. Like, you drink the same thing every day, that's fine. I drink the same coffee every day. But it's like a smaller intro into a greater overconsumption issue. I want to show this video because not only does she have so many cans, but there's a comment on there that says, "Oh, I just pick whichever can matches my outfit." So it's not even about what you actually want to drink. It's about the aesthetic of it. Like this person right here, who can't be enjoying the drink that much if they feel the need to add all this other stuff to it. But they just have to plug Alani New. They have to show it off because it's about the aesthetics, not the flavor, not about what they actually like. Alani New is apparently a brand of energy drinks that have a lot of really exclusive flavors, limited time things. And people are going crazy for this brand, buying it in bulk, and even getting plugs to supply them Alani New products. Like it's some coveted drug.
This house right here sells energy drinks, and I'm a little scared, but I'm gonna go see if they have the cotton candy flavor. They have all these flavors. I just got 25 cans of Sherbet Swirl for, guess how much, Dermal? $30. He like drives real far out to get a whole bunch of cases. He has like all the flavors, like every single flavor. He has witch's brew.
Nobody loves Alani more than me. I got a message last night saying Fred Meyer has the witch's brew.
It's all coming off.
Oh, perfect.
Enter the number of...
Alani, if you want to sponsor me, 10 out of 10. Here's some more at home. And here's our work fridge with the new witch's brew.
Again, copyrighted audio, but she's just grabbing cans from the back and, you know, buying up the entire stock because she wants to have all of them, because heaven forbid she not have her Alani New. Some people are even decorating their rooms with the empty cans or buying entire fridges just to fill it up with Alani New products. This person is just showing off their entire wall of cans of Alani New because it's about aesthetics for them. It is not about enjoying the product. It is about showing it off. It is about creating a persona. And this next video is the brand's video, but it is nearly indistinguishable from this next one, which is just a regular person showing off their fridge of Alani New. Who needs an entire fridge just for one type of drink? What drives people to do this? Well, particularly in this case, it is sugar and caffeine addiction. That definitely is a huge factor here, but it's also for a sense of community and belonging. Being one of the cool people who has the exclusive Alani Witch's Brew, and being able to proudly display that bottle in one of your social media posts to signal to other people, I am one of you. I also love Alani New. It's all about conformity, and people are desperate to feel accepted. From the book Advances in Motivation Science, a great deal of human behavior is motivated by the desire for acceptance and belonging, and a high proportion of people's emotional reactions stems from the concerns with actual or potential social rejection. The pervasive quest for acceptance can be seen in the attention and efforts people devote to their physical appearance, their efforts to be liked, achievement-related behaviors, conformity, accumulating resources that others need, and generally being the sort of person with whom others want to have social connections. In addition, people who feel inadequately valued and accepted may behave in ways to increase acceptance, aggress against those who rejected them, distance themselves from other people, and or engage in symbolic efforts to increase their subjective sense of being accepted. You know, like buying products that they can display on their social media platforms. Maybe. So people see that and follow them or tell them, hey, you have really good taste. The primary difference between human beings and most other creatures is not the fact that we are social, animals who interact and form social relationships with other people. Many birds and mammals have ongoing relationships with others in their herd, flock, pack, or troop. Rather, the difference lies in the fact that human beings invest an exceptional amount of thought and energy into being valued and accepted by others, and in the degree to which people's concerns with what others think of them influence their behaviors and emotions. Other animals certainly show evidence of attachments and are distressed when they are separated from or marginalized by others, but concerns with acceptance and belonging seem far more pervasive and influential among human beings than other animals. I just chucked my microphone when I did that, so I don't know where it is. I had a feeling when I got a chair without a back on it that at some point I was going to lean back too far and fall. I did not expect it to happen the very first day I was sitting in it. Thank goodness I didn't just like break anything on my body or in my room just then. Anyway, back to the video. Humans certainly do invest a lot of thought and energy into being accepted, as well as a lot of money. Which is something no other species has to do, because lucky for them they get to exist in a society that isn't driven by cash. And I'm really jealous of that. But that brings me to my next tangent. Being a woman is incredibly expensive. Obviously, existing as a human being in 2025 is incredibly expensive, and I'm not denying the hardships that's faced by any gender in our current society. But it's undeniable that women are constantly marketed to by cosmetic brands, skincare brands, weight loss companies, all of this stuff. And this is pushed on us in a way that simply isn't true for cis men. As I mentioned earlier, brands love preying on women's insecurities more than anything else, and many people lack the critical thinking skills to combat branded marketing that tells them they need to look or behave a certain way. And I don't say this as an insult to anyone who is susceptible to this marketing. It is an insult to the companies who prey on the easily swayed. Here's an example. Just the other day I saw a tweet that sparked a ton of controversy that called natural nails, or as they put it, blank nails, dirty. They said it looked gross, basically saying a woman should always have manicured nails and anything else is unacceptable. There was obviously a lot of backlash to this, but a lot of people agreed, and one person even said that if they see a woman with natural nails, they just assume they're between appointments instead of judging. But the problem is the assumption that every single woman definitely does her nails because you believe that is something all women should do. It is still judging, and it blatantly shows you fallen victim to the mindset the beauty industry churns out. You do not need to regularly pay hundreds of dollars for nail appointments, or even do your nails at home, or even literally just buy like a $2 bottle of nail polish and do your nails. You can have blank nails. It's fine. And the idea that natural nails with nothing on them is somehow dirty is very twisted. Like, you think if I have nothing on my nails, that means they're dirty? That's literally the opposite of what it means. If I was walking up to you with dirt visibly caked under my nails, you can say that's gross. But when I have plain nails, they're plain. They're natural. They're clean. And no woman should feel like she has to put on fake nails or nail polish or anything in order to be clean, in order to be feminine enough. And I could also go on another whole side tangent about how a lot of this, in this beauty industry portraying like a certain level of femininity, definitely ties into a lot of the fundy mindset of like, this is what a woman is, this is what a man is, and you can't stray from that path, because a lot of fundamentalism is very strict rules for genders, and a lot of the beauty industry and the way things are branded to people and the way companies market to people also has a lot to do with this is for boys, this is for girls, and you can't sway from that. So you have to buy this in order to be the right kind of woman. According to Forbes, the beauty industry made over $94 billion in 2023. You are constantly told you need to buy this or that to maintain an acceptable level of beauty or cleanliness, as some people rebrand it, in order to make it appear less misogynistic. But it is inherently misogynistic to tell women that they are not woman enough, that they are not clean enough if they don't do things in the way that you deem necessary. If a man has a skincare routine, he's praised. Men are often rewarded for maintaining themselves in that way, or sometimes they're even criticized for being too feminine, because again, it's all about very strict gender roles. Because makeup and skincare is so heavily associated with the idea of what it means to be a woman. And if a woman has a skincare routine, well, that's just what she's supposed to be doing. You know, if she wants to prevent the dreaded aging. And if she doesn't do it, she's lazy or unhygienic. Men have to decide whether they do want to have a skincare routine because it's not expected of them, and women have to decide if they don't want to have a skincare routine because it is expected of them. It's expected that we should have a skincare routine, and we could potentially face harsh treatment if we decide to age naturally. It is this same misogynistic mindset that says men who have gained weight now have dad bods, but women who have gained weight have let themselves go. Or that men who age have become DILFs, but women who age have hit the wall.
I calculated how much it costs to fit the beauty standard in America, and the number is actually disgusting. Let's start with nails. If you get your nails done at about $75 a set at the recommended 2 to 3 weeks time frame, you're spending about $1,275 a year. The average cost of a full body wax is $200, and if you get it at the recommended 4 to 8 week time period, you're spending about $2,000 a year on waxing. A cut and a bleach at a $300 average puts you at about $2,400 a year just for doing your hair. If you get your lashes and a facial done at the recommended intervals, it's about $1,300 a year, and for the facials at 4 to 6 weeks, 10 times a year, $800 or $900. Now, the average American woman already spends about $300 a year on makeup, $550 a year on clothing, with $161 of this being workout clothing, $650 a year on jewelry and watches, $200 a year on shoes, and $900 a year on bath and shower products, which feels reasonable to me. If you factor in suggested tipping, this puts you at about $13,000 a year. That's half the poverty line for a family of 4. The average American woman makes $65,000 a year, and this is about 20% of that income. So anyway,
According to AARP, more than 70% of women 50 plus feel pressure to live up to beauty standards dictated by media. So the pressure to conform to beauty standards does not dwindle with time, but likely increases as women get older and begin to be treated differently because they're aging, and maybe they don't look as beautiful as they did when they were in their 20s and 30s. Also, I had my vinyls on the floor while I was finding a place for them, and my cat just went over there and started trying to bite them, so they are going to be right here for the rest of the video. Because he was trying to eat my vinyls. In a now deleted Reddit post, one user shared, "I never liked makeup. It made my skin feel weird and always clogged my pores. I remember promising to myself never to use it. Though so many people around me are wearing makeup every day, as well as everyone I see online. To be perceived as beautiful, you must wear a bit of makeup, even if it's a natural makeup look. So being in school with girls that wear makeup constantly makes me stand out and often called the ugly one. It's gotten to a point where I feel forced to wear makeup even though I don't want to, just to fit in and look pretty." Although most of the responses to this post were very kind and reassuring, letting this person know that they didn't need to wear makeup or even to care about what other people think. I think this post is very telling of a mindset a lot of people unfortunately have because society has made them feel this way. I myself have felt pressured to wear makeup or look a certain way in order to feel beautiful. And I could spend a whole day talking about how people care more about beauty than personality, because surface level is valued more than depth, and the idea that beauty is everything and physical appearance determines how you treat others directly leads to the overconsumption that turns people into mindless clones of one another. But I need not rant too much. A lot of purely aesthetic rules are thrust upon women, and society claims it's in the name of being healthy. But is it healthy? Is it healthy to be so stressed about how you look, about whether you fit in? Is it healthy to spend all your money on fleeting trends? Is it really healthy to chase the momentary high of feeling like you fit into the standards of beauty norms set by society? And if it was healthy, would we not be pressuring men to do these same things to the same degree that we're pressuring women? The harsh reality is that most consumeristic trends are geared towards women. Brands tell women, you have to buy this to fit in. You have to buy this to be seen as feminine enough. That's why you see TikTok videos of vanity stacked with an ungodly amount of makeup captioned girlhood. This one just says, "I can never be a man," and it's just a girl showing off her makeup products. Because, a man can never wear makeup. Because that's something girls do. It's girly. Only girls can wear makeup. Girlhood is when you find your favorite lip product. Also, this next one that says, "I love being a girly girl," and it's just a bag of makeup. Because the most feminine thing you can do is wear makeup. Makeup is for girls. It's part of girlhood.
Oh my god, I love being a girl because every morning I get to wake up and do my makeup. Like, yeah, I might have to worry about being raped, assaulted, sex trafficked, kidnapped, groped, harassed, stalked. I might make 82 cents for every dollar a man makes. I have politicians making laws regarding my uterus. But I get to wake up every morning and do my makeup. It's so fun.
TikTok is especially bad about encouraging and enabling these harmful trends. Of course, TikTok has also recently hopped on the minimalism and de-influencing trends, where they throw out everything they were once influenced to buy. That is, until it's once again trendy to buy a bunch of new stuff, and then they'll just buy new stuff to replace what they threw out. So are they really de-influencing, or just making room in their closet to be influenced again at a later date? So when Kendall Jenner walks out wearing another basic tee, they can flock to buy it. So they can buy buckets of charms for their bags, or in a moment of weakness spend thousands on random clothing hauls.
Alright, Shein haul. This is my first reaction to it too, so I'm excited but always scared.
Shein haul time. The grand finale of my giant Shein haul is finally here. I didn't think I ordered this much.
Our Shein haul. Okay, I literally hunted on Shein for hours trying to find really cute stuff for summer, so I'm gonna show you guys what I got. Oh my gosh. Shein haul. I don't think I've ever had a Shein haul this big before, so I'm so excited.
Fast fashion shopping haul, sorting through my landfill layers, my single-use synthetic fibers, or my microplastic microtrends, and half of my haul of textile waste never really fits, or after one wear, it'll tear, it'll rip, but I'll just throw it away rather than return because it was just so cheap. $50 for just 15 things? Sign me up, drop the link. I'm so obsessed, you absolutely need this life-changing thing, and you can't escape the ads and your social media scrolls and the movies that you stream at home. Even when you're harmlessly manifesting on a Pinterest board and a sneaky ad comes up for a synthetic fiber sweater, and you think maybe future life would be better with that sweater, so you buy the sweater, you wear it on average 7 to 10 times, you forget it exists, and you do the dance pants all over again. So what is it really costing? With the mass-produced styles of the week, overnight shipped in just one click, arriving to your doorstep with or without a label that they really all say the same thing. If you read between the lines, they're really all badged and tagged with unclean energy. So do you really want to wear the weight of that negativity as an overconsumer of an industry that's a proven polluter with microplastics and chemicals clogging up the oceans and the water, a supporter of unethical labor? And here's your end of video disclaimer, because I'm not perfect. I love to shop. I too consume. And no matter what the price tag says, it usually comes with a cost that's much greater than that.
Because the truth is, when you ditch maximalism for the clean girl aesthetic, you're still just adhering to another trend to earn a sense of belonging or superiority. And since this new identity is not your true self, but merely a reflection of what's around you, when that's no longer what's appearing on your For You page, you'll abandon your slick back bun and go right out to buy whatever is in the TikTok shop this month. And not only are these things almost exclusively geared towards women, I mean, it is called the clean girl aesthetic, not the clean person aesthetic, but these wasteful trends directly impact women as well. The exploitation disproportionately impacts women, who make up approximately 80% of garment workers, primarily aged 18 to 35. When it comes to garment manufacturing in the global south, the clothes we wear often come at the cost of women's dignity and safety. Gender discrimination is pervasive in all countries where garments are produced. Women are frequently subjected to verbal and physical abuse as well as sexual harassment, often in unregulated factories where workplace violence goes unchecked. It is undeniable that women face the brunt of the harm facilitated by overconsumption. And that brings me back to the difference between fast fashion and a lot of these overconsumption trends versus book buying. While it's undeniable that some people do buy books purely for the aestheticism and have no real passion for reading, which is made especially clear by the amount of bookish accounts who fake reviews just to post content, or the male book talk accounts that post romance book content and sometimes fancast themselves as the love interest, exclusively to appeal to women.
So, I just finished Akatar. All the babes were talking about it. It's a good book. If you saw me at Barnes & Noble, what would you do? Yeah.
Not everyone is buying books for those reasons. Some people just really want to read. But some people also probably just really want a bottle of Alani's Witch's Brew. So, what's the difference? While I might be biased in my perception because I am an avid reader and book collector, here's my opinion. Books are not produced in the same harmful and exploitative way that fast fashion is produced. Books are simply not hurting people or the environment to the same degree as Shein, a brand that launched over 9,000 new products every day and produces $30 billion a year in disposable clothes. In an article from Yale Climate Connections, according to the company's sustainability report, Shein emitted 16.7 million total metric tons of carbon dioxide in 2023, more than what 4 coal power plants spew out in a year. Oh, and did you know AI is making fast fashion even worse? I'm definitely going to have to make another video on AI because the scope of its harm keeps expanding and I do not have time to delve into that whole topic here. But in short, they're using AI to predict what microtrends customers will want next so they know what to produce. AI enables fast fashion to become the ultra-fast fashion industry, Shein and Temu being the 4 leaders of this, said Sage Leaner, the executive director of Sustainable and Just Future, a climate nonprofit. They quite literally could not exist without AI. Let me know if you want a part 2 to my video on the dangers of AI, because man, are we in deep with that. Anyway, back to my point. Although AI is unfortunately slowly creeping into the literary sphere as well, it's not as prevalent or as accepted in literary circles, and publishers, as far as we know, are not treating their employees as poorly as fast fashion brands are notoriously known to do. On top of that, books don't wear down the same way a t-shirt would. They don't expire the same way a bottle of witch's brew will. You could, theoretically, if you take care of it, have the same book your entire life and even pass it down to the next generation. Even if you take the utmost care of your Shein sweater, it's still going to become unwearable much sooner than you're willing to admit. Just a couple washes and it'll be falling apart. and you will have to reluctantly throw it away. But in the sake of fairness, let me show you the other side of the argument. Approximately 320 million books end up in the landfill every year. That's a lot. A lot. But it's still not comparable to the 92 million tons of textile waste that end up in the landfill every year. Ultimately, everything we buy in some way contributes to a negative impact on our environment somewhere down the line, which is why some people choose to ignore the impact altogether. But I personally think it's important to acknowledge the difference and find the most sustainable way to live your own life. Some things do have a much bigger negative impact than others, and while I believe ultimately the responsibility should fall on the companies that are producing this insane amount of waste, we as consumers do have a degree of responsibility, and it's important to not say, well, since there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, I might as well just buy from Shein and Temu. I personally plan to have these books for the rest of my life, unless, knock on wood, some really unfortunate circumstances prevents me from doing so. And I just don't think me owning a collection of books amounts to the same level of harm as throwing away a bunch of clothes that are full of plastic and lead. But I also think people should stop just throwing away their books. Like, a lot of people throw away really good books that are not in the condition to be thrown out just because they don't want them anymore. And I think a lot of people also do that with clothes. I honestly just think we need to stop mindlessly throwing things away that can be saved, that can be donated or given to other people. So that's an important factor also. But I also am buying these books because I really love them and I want to read them, not just because these are books that are trendy. A lot of these books aren't trendy. A lot of these books I haven't even seen necessarily being praised on social media. And so I think you can look at people who buy a bunch of books that they will also probably one day throw out and not donate. Just because it's the trending thing on Book Talk to buy this Colleen Hoover novel, to buy Haunting Adeline, to read whatever else and, make thirst traps about it. I think the way you consume and the reason why you consume it is just as important as what you consume. You can be a book buyer in a way that isn't necessarily ethical, but I still fully believe that even if you were just buying books because it's trending, and then you throw away those books, it is simply not doing the same level of harm as buying clothes just because it's trending and then throwing away those clothes. Or buying a Labubu I'll throw away 2 months from now because it's just so cringe now to own a Labubu, which is why I have a collection of Lafufus that I will throw away 2 months from then because it is just so cringe to... You get my point. Y'all, apparently Lafufu is the word for a knockoff Labubu, and I had no idea that that was the case when I said this. I just threw it out there as a random word that kind of sounded like a Labubu as like a placeholder for whatever trend comes next. And when I was looking up videos of Labubus for this video, like from TikTok, I found clips being like, oh, I was duped, I accidentally got a Lafufu. I had no idea that was an actual word people used. The more you know.
Remember what I taught you, Quasimodo. You are deformed. I am deformed. And you are ugly.
And well, people do toss their books aside more than they should. As far as I know, people just don't dispose of their books to the same degree as other overconsumption trends. Nor do they do as much harm to the individuals producing them or the environment as fast fashion brands or those little plastic trinkets people buy off Temu or whatever shady site you're getting your $2 air fryer from. And I've also explained in my other videos that I almost exclusively buy secondhand books and clothes and whatever else. I just don't really buy things new very often, which is a good way to be more sustainable in a world that is just producing an ungodly amount of waste. And obviously not everyone buys their books or their clothes secondhand, or we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. But I just say that in case anyone is curious about my shelves, because I am the person making this video talking for an hour about overconsumption while I am sitting here in front of my collection of over 700 books. So I just thought I would share that about my own collection. I do believe you can collect things in a more ethical way through secondhand means, and also by taking care of what you get and buying it because it's something you genuinely want and will have for a long time, and not something you're gonna throw away ASAP. Obviously, it still produces waste, as everything does, but my point is collecting things isn't inherently wrong. It's about why and how we are doing our collecting. Even in ancient times, people amassed collections of things that fascinated them. From many museums, collecting appears throughout the historical record. Neolithic tools have been discovered in Europe that seem to have been constructed as decorative ornaments, not weapons of war. More than that, these collector weapons are constructed in the style of earlier periods suggesting a nostalgia for the past. Museums themselves appear throughout human history. The first built was Inagaldis Nana's Museum in Ur around the time 500 BCE and housed artifacts from earlier Mesopotamian cultures. I think to an extent it is part of human nature to collect things. And I think greedy corporations see that and prey on those human tendencies and pervert it. They turn it from something you do as a hobby to something you have to do to maintain your social status. It is no longer something you do for leisure, but something you do painstakingly. Do you think it's easy or fun to find plugs who will price hike witch's brew? No, but it gets you likes on TikTok and a community of people who are obsessed with the same drink. So people will continue to put on their influencer voice and tap their cups while saying, "Oh my gosh, why is it actually so good? Like, I'm obsessed. You have to get this right now." Because it gives them attention, and these social media likes and comments are supplemental validation. It's as I said before, people are more distanced from one another than ever, so in a desperate attempt to feign the experience of genuine friendship and acceptance through a screen, people learn to brand themselves. And that makes the billionaire CEOs very happy as they sit in their mansions knowing somewhere out there there's a Labubu on Karl Marx's grave. And that's a real thing, by the way, the Labubu on his grave. And you can look at the trends in the ancient museums and say people have always been this way. It's not new and it hasn't gotten worse, but statistics show that it has. The throwaway culture has worsened progressively over the years. At present, many items are worn only 7 to 10 times before being tossed. That's a decline of more than 35% in just 15 years. And fast fashion brands are producing twice as many clothes as they were in the year 2000. Production and waste is ramping up. So please be mindful of what you consume and why you're consuming it. Is it something you genuinely want or will use for a long time? Or is it something you will stop using when it's no longer fashionable? Is this something you are buying because it will bring you genuine joy? Or will it bring you a sense of acceptance? And listen, you go buy your Labubu. I don't really care if it's something you actually genuinely want and will continue to hold on to once the trend passes. You see this Snoopy cup? I love Snoopy, okay? I am also to a degree susceptible to branded marketing. I'm not here making this video to say that I am better than any of these people, that I am better than you, that I have never bought something just because it has Snoopy on it, because I definitely have. But just ask yourself why you're buying something, and if you still think you're going to have it a year from now, before you make that purchase. I will still have this little Snoopy cup years from now, even after the little picture of Snoopy has, faded and been peeled off from the dishwasher. I'll still drink out of this cup. I'll still enjoy it. Even after Snoopy gets canceled for being problematic and he makes a ukulele apology video that doesn't go over really well, I'll still enjoy this cup. In 2025, we must all be a consumer of something, so just make sure you're a mindful consumer. Shop at secondhand and independent stores if you can. Be your own unique person, make your own decisions, and consider the ethical and environmental impacts of your purchases. Don't fall victim to companies that want to bleed you dry and strip you of your identity. Because when everybody is striving to attain the same things and look the same way, nobody is unique, and individuality is lost. There's also no room for diversity when everyone is striving to look the same. I think we all know that the look companies present to the public as the ideal is a skinny white woman. Conformity harms people in a wide variety of ways, including the promotion of racism and fat phobia. So conforming to trends isn't nearly this one small thing. It's not just wearing this one outfit that everyone else is wearing. It's a small piece of a bigger issue. And that issue is trying to turn people into essentially robots who all act the same, think the same, want the same things, and who can't accept other people who look and act and think differently than them. It's countercultural to be your own person and make your own decisions. Because the rich CEOs really do benefit from your willingness to just buy whatever it is they're selling you. So wear what you like, even if it's cringe. Find hobbies that don't make you any money. And don't listen to everyone telling you you need to spend a bunch of money to be a person the right way, to be a woman the right way. You do you.
Huge back to school shopping haul. I'm really excited. I'm gonna start with Hollister. I got 3 of these sweaters. This is what the pink looks like, maroon, and the white. Cute tank top. This is what she looks like. Basic little navy blue top. It's a very nice basic pink shirt. I think it's really cute. I don't even remember what came in this.
A great indicator that overconsumption has truly gotten worse is the nature of recent back to school hauls. Teenage girls spending upwards of tens of thousands of dollars on clothes and accessories for the school year. It's disturbing to witness these young girls who don't yet realize how much the harm they're doing to themselves flaunt their excessive spending. I don't fault them. They were taught by social media and enabled by their parents to think that this is the normal level of consumption. That throwing away a perfectly good backpack from last year because it's no longer in style is a good decision, and that you need multiple versions of the exact same item. Some of these videos are even from parents doing hauls and restocks for their kids. Voicing over this one because I have a lot to say. This is a bathroom for a 4-year-old, and the amount of excess that is on display here. First of all the plastic containers. Every single one of these videos has plastic dividers, because you have to have the most amount of plastic you can possibly have in a single room. And all of these different things. Does a young child need all of this? Is this makeup products for a 4-year-old? Every single thing you buy has to go in its own special plastic container, preferably one that's pink, because, you know, feminine, girly girl stuff. The amount of, like, pink stuff that is on display in a lot of these videos, see how she's getting everything pink themed, because it's a girl, and it's just the over-feminization, like this. Oh my gosh, even the paper towel roll is pink, because it's all about aesthetics, and it's all about over-feminizing things, because pink is for girls. And I don't want to complain about this mother feeding her kids, but there's something so sinister about aestheticizing food and saying you can only eat food this color this day, you can only eat food this shape this day, and turning even the simple act of eating into something that can be branded and marketed. Because do you think she would buy those little raspberry treats if they weren't pink? There's just something so sinister about making everything you eat have to be palatable and marketable to total strangers, even the shape and color. You can only eat pink food today, darling. And again, I'm glad this lady is feeding her kids, but she is teaching her young children that every single thing you do in your life has to be aesthetic, has to look a certain way, has to pass a certain visual test. And I can only imagine what the rest of their life looks like if this is what their fridge looks like. And of course, even the fridge is pink, because everything has to be pink. And it makes me so deeply sad to witness these young children are still forming and shaping their reality, and their parents are filling their rooms with excess and name brands and teaching these poor children that having certain aesthetics is the key to life, and that if aesthetics change, you have to throw out everything you own, even if it's in good condition, and buy something new in your new style to replace it. Right off the bat, even the toilet paper rolls are pink. Even the flushable wipes are pink. Everything has to be pink. And again, please bear with me through these voiceover sections. I'm having to edit them in a different way than normal because CapCut is evil. But even the makeup sponges are pink and heart-shaped. Oh, the kid can't even have soap that isn't pink. Are you kidding me? I know I keep repeating myself, but the over-aesthetification is really killing me. Even your toilet time, your shower time has to be aesthetically pleasing. And these parents are teaching their children, this is the way you must live your life. You must have pink toilet paper and pink trash cans. Even the products you wipe your butt with have to be things that you can sell to other people, that you can market. Oh look, here's another little fridge. And of course black paper towels, because everything has to be a certain aesthetic. If you want to buy your kid a little mini Stanley cup or whatever brand this is, that's fine. But why like so many of them? That defeats the purpose of reusability when you are collecting and over-consuming products that are meant for sustainability and reuse. I've even seen videos of people throwing out their perfectly good Stanley cups because they're not the vibe anymore, they're not the aesthetic, and they want the Yeti cups or whatever brand it is they're going towards now. They're throwing away these products that are perfectly good because they're not in line with their aesthetic anymore. And this one right here probably upsets me more than any other video I'm voicing over, because she is restocking her 11-year-old daughter's room with perfume and makeup and skincare products and all of these things. And I don't know if you're reading this caption, but it says she spent $5,000 on this restock. First of all, your kids should not have access to half this stuff, but to spend $5,000 on it, that's just not normal. That's not normal. There's no other way to say it. Why do they have this many products in the plastic containers? Are those candles? Like, look at all the plastic. Just, my goodness. But makeup, skincare, all of these different things, face wipes, face masks. Why does a child need a face mask? Why do they need makeup? They're 11. They're spending $5,000 on makeup for an 11-year-old? You know, they actually make fun, cheap little makeup stuff geared towards children for when they want to learn to express themselves in that way. And instead, you're spending $5,000 on this. You could just buy them a little eyeshadow palette if they really want makeup. Also, maybe I'm being nitpicky, but why does an 11-year-old need access to that many whitening strips? Deodorant is fine, but look, again, so many more hairbrushes. How often do you need new hairbrushes and hair clips? It's just so much plastic and waste. We are inundating young girls with the narrative that this is normal and even necessary if they want to enjoy their school experiences and their lives. We are telling them that they lack something vital if they don't have the new Adidas sneakers or the newest outfit from Aritzia. They couldn't possibly go to school wearing a single item their classmates saw them in last year. It's just unthinkable. You are destroying yourself for social media validation, and you are putting that onto your kids who will grow up with the warped idea that name brands and aesthetics are what gives life value. And what do you gain from it besides fleeting validation? A sense of belonging that can never take root because it's derived from adhering to trends that change on the daily. I mean, truly, something that was cool yesterday could suddenly become unacceptable today. But even still, fashion trends are bound to change at least 4 times a year with the seasons. You really can't hold on to any of it. That's why it's important to know yourself and know what you like and have a steady identity that doesn't sway with the wind. Who you are is allowed to change over time, but it should be because you want to change and you have grown, not because who you were before is no longer popular, so you pack her up and send her off to the landfill with all of last month's clothes. It's as Dostoevsky said, your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. Because being in style is nothing. Getting on the For You page is nothing. Being unique, developing your own ideas in your own style, finding hobbies you like, finding friends who like you as a person, not as a brand ambassador, and finding a way to be content with your life rather than constantly chasing the next thing. That's something. That has value. All of these things that you're buying have nothing more than momentary value. They do not improve your life, your health, your personality, nothing. These hauls are just money pits, and I truly, truly want you to see that. I too have fallen victim to this, okay? I'm not here to judge. I'm being a little bit dramatic, but I'm really not here to judge. I've wanted to change things about myself. I've wanted to be a part of trends. I've wanted things that are trendy. I've longed after a certain aesthetic before. And before I understood enough to realize what was happening and why I felt this way, I also very often gave into this desire and bought things I didn't need, tried to be a person that wasn't true to me. I don't say all of this from a place of judgment, even though I might sound harsh. I really have been there, and I understand how this type of marketing works on people, because it worked on me. I wanted to be cool, I wanted to be likable, and I thought if I could just dress a certain way and have certain things, I could be liked. But that is exactly what these brands spend millions in advertising to convince you is the truth, so they can turn your existence into their own paycheck. But you don't need these things. You don't need all of these cute, cheap fashion items or really expensive name brand products that you think will buy you respect. Don't allow them to turn you into a walking advertisement. You are not a billboard. And there's suddenly a lot of noise in this house. I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but it has gotten loud in here, so I am going to end the video here. I hope you enjoyed it all. I hope I got my point across. I had a lot of fun and dread researching this one and seeing all the statistics. But if you like this video or found it informative, please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Share a copy link on my video because it helps so much with the algorithm. And comment below the measures you're taking in your own life to stay sustainable. And of course your opinions on this whole topic. And comment what you want to see from me next. My Ko-Fi will be linked in the description down below. If you want to support me as an individual, you want to support this channel, so I can continue making these videos. Because I say it every time, but I'm really having the time of my life doing this. And I want it to be something that I can continue to do. Now with the assistance of my desk. And this channel is rapidly approaching 25,000 subscribers, which I just cannot believe. I started this channel only 2.5 months ago, and the amount of growth and love and support that this channel has seen, that I have seen, is something I cannot believe and that I never expected. So many wonderful things have happened in these 2.5 months, and I have truly enjoyed pouring my heart out into these videos, and I am honestly I'm so grateful for all of it. Thank y'all so much. Holy cow, y'all. Almost 25,000 subscribers. I need to throw a party and invite Bella Hadid. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's all, folks. I'll see you next week. Bye.
This is your sign to get rid of all of your Stanleys because the new...
Can we stop? Can we stop? Can we stop? What if we actually used our recyclable water bottles, what they're for, to be reused, and stopped making a new trending water bottle every 6 months? It's so annoying and it is so bad for the environment. Our planet cannot handle this level of overconsumption, and it's influencers and businesses like this that just make it so much worse. Just use what you have.
Oh my god, it's not that hard.